Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Box for the Technical Trader at techtrader.com. It's Tuesday, the 30th of October. Yeah, it looks like it was turnaround Tuesday today. We had a big move off the lows in the market. Let's take a quick look at the S&P. You can see that surge off the lows. And if you look at it on an hourly basis, which I tend to want to do, this is the pattern we're seeing. We've had a big drop down, spike down low. This is where we got that, I believe, big negative tick number that caused a rally. And then multiple waves down have gotten us to where we spike down again there and then pop back up again. The overall structure appears to be some sort of wedge that was broken out today. And more importantly, the close was a little bit above the declining top line, so I want to see if there's a follow through. I also want to see if this number with at that low and at this peak, that's going to be a big resistance, 27.067 range. And then we're looking at the spike high here at 27.07. So we got about 100 points in there, I believe. And so we'll just have to see what we get at this point. Don't forget, with the 50-day moving average is also going to be a problem at about 2,700. But 27.05 area, if we get through that, we got a good shot at extending. That's the S&P and the NDX. Also in a multiple wave move down, which reached eventually to that level, which is the bottom of that 1, 2, 3 wave corrective channel, at least a strong pullback channel. You can see that the angle of descent was rather steep. It took the indices today back above resistance, which right about was about the 6,800 range. We closed above it. There's a little bit of resistance here. We have to fall through tomorrow, or this thing's still going to roll over. At this point, my resistance is around, I would have to say 69.50, 70 zone. Now, individually, there were some stocks that did very well today, and some stocks that broke back out. Amcor's won. 717 up 114. That's a 19% gain on 4 million. But more importantly, take a look at this. The declining top line was blown through. A lot of resistance was tested. The 50-day moving average is there too. So we're going to watch going forward tomorrow. It's whether this gets to 740.45 zone. Then we're looking at 8, 8.5, and that's some big resistance there. And then we're looking at 9.5. So let's go look for 8, 8.25, and 9.5 if we get follow through. Chegg, which has been on my long list for a long time, had a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave drop and an orderly falling wedge. Exploded out with breakaway gap today. 6.2 million shares, 333 higher, up 14.5%. Immediate resistance coming through tomorrow is going to be about 27.35 area. That's through there. We get through that, we're looking at 29 to 29.5 zone. Going to be more heavily resistance there. CSBR, I just like the look of this overall chart. The 3-wave corrective pullback had a nice reversal today. That's your stop. Also, that's near the prior high, so you can see why that would be big support at 9.5. What it's got to do though is get past the declining top zone and take out, for starters, say $12. Once you're through that, 13.5, and then maybe 15.5 would be potential targets. The AR new swing we put on today. Look at the long-term chart. It broke out with a thrust above that zone, which held it back for a week and a half. Now we're looking for a retest of the multi-year high at 2096. When we get through that, my targets are going to be mid channel around 22.3, and then upper channel around 26. DXR with a very big explosive day, up 87%. On 5.3 million shares, very similar to the spike it had here. Now that was followed by a couple of days down, and then a big explosive move. Immediate resistance is right here. The double top at around 10.75. If we make that tomorrow, that would be a potential target. It is down a little bit after hours. Keep an eye on that. HIIQ snapped back out of a falling wedge as well with a little mini 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks to be like it stopped right about support at this pullback low there. That's my stop for sure underneath 42. But today's spike up of 446 or 10% on $1.25 million, the biggest volume on an update since May, tells me we may be extending this. But I'll be carefully watching is that level. There's some resistance there, and that's the next resistance at 52, 52.20. That's your target for tomorrow. We get to that, possibly 56.7. JWN, retailers had a big day, Nordstrom's had a really good day. And if I call that the pullback channel, three-wave corrective and holding a double bottom, their support obviously is 58, but it blew through the resistance today by jumping 431 or 7%, almost 7%. And following this angle, we should reach 70.71 near term. KEM with a big pop, broke out. Breakaway gap above the 50, closed right near resistance, and follow through should get us to 22 and 3/4, 23. Secondary target will be up here. There's a triple top there, right about 26.5. So let's call it the 23 and 26.5 as my targets if we get a follow through. NYGN also with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave move and now a corrective move. It looks to me like we may start a new uptrend with immediate resistance at about 49-ish, 49.51 zone. Through that, we're looking at something in the mid-50s and low 60s. Endera, or Endra, Life Sciences, NDRA, with a big pop and pullback, held that line, and then it's moving right back up again. Now, we reversed yesterday, and then had an inside positive day today. Let's watch 5 3/4. We get to that, we may have a real big move on our hands into the low mid-7s. NEO with a big spike in the last 6 days has gone from 12 3/4 to 17 3/4. So it's a little extended, but I like the overall look of this. Here's a long-term pattern. You can see we're at the long-term channel top. If this accelerates like it looks like it wants, that we may see 20 bucks on a short-term basis. REGI swing trade from back here continues to look great, up another $1.93 or 6.5%. I would not be surprised to see this make it into the high 30s to 37.8. Chivago, after yesterday's reversal, went right back up again and held support, which right now is about 630. Jumping to 715, up 65 cents or 10%. If it breaks through there, your next target's near 9, about 890. Under Armour with a big day as the earnings came out and beat all estimates and blew out through 3 moving averages with a gap and through lateral price resistance closing at the upper end of the range. Great day for that one. Up 416 to 25% on 12 million. Yeah, that's a breakout day if I've ever seen one. I expect to see some follow through to test the double top up here, 2265. We may get that tomorrow. BCYT with an explosive day on big volume. Now it did back off resistance from the August high. That one's about 1286. Today's high 1270. So we get to that 1270.86 area. 15.5 is my target. We may need to see some pullback consolidation or flagging action in here. And finally, Xilinx, a new swing we put on today, exploded for 370 or 4 3/4%. I'm looking for a move that takes out 84 and runs up to low 90s. Looks very good. And this is HB signing off. You guys have a great evening. Let's make some money tomorrow.